Welcome back to the Black Lion Blueprint. Today is a special episode. I'm sitting down with one of my athletes and pro boxer, Muhammad Musharaf, fresh off of a big TKO win. We're diving into the fight, the mindset, and the moments that made it all happen. Hope you enjoy. Muhammad Musharaf with me. Did I say that right?
It's Musharaf.
Musharaf.
Yeah, yeah,
Musharaf.
yeah,
Okay. He helped me out with the pronunciation.
yeah.
So, pro boxer, just coming off of a TKO victory this past weekend. Congratulations, man.
Oh man,
Congratulations.
appreciate you. I like the pro boxing side it, and
It-
I actually call myself a pro boxer because now
right,
I've had
right.
two fights. It's
It
like,
sounds
hey,
sweet, right? Like, okay,
yeah,
okay, I could actually call myself a pro boxer after
yeah,
two fights, not just
yeah,
one.
after, yeah, yeah.
Gotcha, man. So just we kind of talked about this a little bit. So just walk me through, everything leading up to the fight.
Leading up to the fight, so to begin with, you go through like a 6 to 8 week camp. So like for me, I already knew like around 8 weeks out that I was gonna fight in on April 25th, which was this past Friday. Um, Around this time, we kind of know like who my opponent is. We kind of understand where my game is, what I'm deficient at, what I'm good at, what I'm great at.
Yeah,
And then from there, we basically make a game plan on how I can improve myself. Right now, it's like, it's like the first 10 fights in boxing, you're still developing. You're
okay,
learning the pro game, you're learning all this, the time, the rounds, you're getting used to all that. So for this camp, for me especially, it was just uh, focusing more on being defensively sharp, sitting down on my punches, uh, being more patient. Uh, in my amateur fights, I used to it was a car crash every single time. Loved it, but since I got that extra minute in each round and I got 4 rounds instead of three, um, that's yeah, no, like I'm not fighting a 6 minute fight anymore. I'm fighting double the time. So I got more time to, catch a rhythm, work on my defense, set up shots, and do those things right. This past fight, I really didn't set up. Well, no, I did, but I didn't. But I was focused more on staying down my shots, throwing a lot more power shots, which I ended up doing, and that's how I got the TKO victory. Alhamdulillah. So leading up to the fight, once like I'm during fight day, you get your nervousness, you get your butterflies, you get all that good stuff. But once the commission comes in the back and they tell you like, all right, the first fight's up, then it's like, all right, I already know what I need to do. So wrap my hands, warm up, get ready. Just take my time warming up. Has been like the biggest change for me as well. Uh, I used to rush everything, like every single thing. Never stopped. Just trying to hurry, trying to get explode. This time I was like building myself up. Or not only this time, but even like the time before that, I'm just building myself up. On the way I'm shadow boxing, I'm catching my balance first. I'm checking my rhythms, work on my defense, then slowly start adding these punches and setting up shots, visualizing what I really want to do in the fight. And then from there, is even how I hit pads. I'm going slow, working on the accuracy, trying to make sure I land correctly, land on my first two knuckles. Um, yeah, making sure I'm rotating correctly, doing everything right, then speed it up, then explode. Um, the best way I can explain it is getting to a point where I'm still loose, but my technique is tight. Shout out to Coach Vince because he's the one who said that.
loose but
But
tight.
it's loose but tight. Yeah. So it's like I'm having fun. I'm doing it, but when I start throwing shots or when I'm working on my defense, I'm tight. I'm sharp. So yeah, get into that. You go through your visualization as well. I think like that's been the biggest part is the mental side. A lot of people don't understand that. It is more mental than physical. The diet is easy. The training is super easy. Uh, I get a list of what I can eat, what I cannot eat, what I can drink, what I cannot drink. How should I be eating? How should I be drinking? When should I do this? When should I do that? For the physical training, how many workouts I need to be doing throughout the week. For my strength training, you create a list for me. You already tell me like which exercise I need to do. So if I'm not doing any of those exercises, yeah, it's gonna screw with me when during fight day. The same thing with like the fight training. Uh, Vince does a great job because he knows I have ADHD like a motherfucker. So he keeps it at most three things that I need to be focusing on in camp, at most. And then from there, build upon that, you know?
Yeah.
And then each camp we just keep getting better. So if I'm not doing that during my training, so say like the private sessions that I do with him, pad work or the bag work, even in sparring, oh my god, I was like the amount of times I get cussed out, it's crazy. So I was like, and I know like when I'm doing something wrong or when I'm doing something right. So
Right.
and again like all those little small details impact your mental side of it, which will then lead to the fight. And the visualization aspect of it too. Um, I don't force the visualization like I used to when I was early on in my career. Now it's just like I'm doing, say, an errand or working at work or doing whatever, the visualization will come naturally. And then that's where, like, I definitely I see my hand raised. Definitely I see the fight going my way. But, there will also be certain points where it's like I will have to say the doubt and the fear comes in. So say that, what if I get caught? What if this happens? What if I get knocked down? How would I react to it? And or if I got buzzed, how would I react to all that? What would be my shots? And visualize through that. Visualize the adversity and overcoming the adversity. Uh, you know, all of that. It's been easier. So like by the time when the fight comes, like I kind of like it's not like I kind of like I already know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna punch this dude in the mouth, and I want to knock him out, and I'm gonna have fun doing all this by that time. So it's like it's like and like the best part about it is like just don't force anything. Just enjoy it. Enjoy. Be present in the moment. And that's something that me and shout out Stephanie say all the time is be where your feet are every single time. It's as long as we know where our feet are, we're good. If we don't know where our feet are, then we're pretty much fucked.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Wow. Yeah, man. That's I really love the aspect of, just that visualization and you not like forcing it. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like how you used to try and like, oh, I need to be visualizing these things and it just start to come and you just kind of go with that flow. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man. And I feel like that's a big thing that people can take away from it is not trying to like force the thing, but just allowing it to flow naturally and then like leaning into it when it does happen.
Oh yeah, man. Like it's like what Bruce Lee said, be like water. Like water's gonna crash, water can like flow, you know?
Be like
Uh,
water, my friend.
yeah, yeah, honestly, it's straight up. It's like the most cliche stuff, but it is the truth behind it. If you are more willing to just let life be life and just exist, it's so easy, you know? In Islam, so I'm Muslim, there's a prayer. We say, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. It means Allah is sufficient for us and He's the best disposer of affairs. Uh, and basically, what it means is like, God's good. Like, that's all we need. God is great, and God is all we need, and He's going to take care of us, regardless
Mm,
of whatever happens, good or bad. And I
mhm,
was like, so like if you let life happen and you just do what you're supposed to be doing. So say you make sure that another phrase, like a Arabic phrase, is tie your camel. Like as long as you make sure you tie your camel and like you do your stuff what you're supposed to be doing, like it's gonna work out at the end of the day. And if it's not gonna work out, it's gonna lead you to something better. That's all it is, and it's a learning thing. Um, Man, people take amateur fighting so freaking seriously. I hate the fact like they duck like best amateur fighters duck everybody. I was like, why? I was
mm,
like, you're an amateur fighter. You're not getting paid for this. I was
Mm,
like, you should not be stressed out about if you win or excuse me, if you win or lose. Get the experience, man. I was like, now it's like I'm going boxing. Um, and anyone who knows me, my amateur background, I have zero boxing fights. And I was like, and it impresses every single person whenever
it
I
impresses me.
spar. Yeah, it's like I spar or I fight, like especially like like during my sparring sessions. Like I don't spar at Kaizen. Like I spar at Kaizen, but like that's like not my main place. Like I'm sparring for boxing. I'm
Right.
going to these different gyms. I'm sparring these high level guys. And, so shout out to Coach Ali Tara, who's opened his gym and invited me to come and spar his guys. Those are high level people. Shout out to Godbody and Boxing Academy, Coach King and his guys, Frank and Tay Wolf, uh, good high level guys. You know what I'm saying? And getting that experience with those people. Uh, they always get surprised when I tell them, I was like, yeah. I was like, my first boxing fight was my first pro fight. You know, and like, and like, it's a great aspect of it because like now I know I'm not doing something wrong because the person who's coaching me is telling me the right things to do. He understands what I need to be working on, and all my whole job is just to listen and take what he's telling me and make it my own. Be creative with it, and that's all I'm trying to do. And I was like, and regardless of whatever happens, happens, man. Like shit. And like yeah, like I'm gonna go out there and try to dominate. Like that's the goal. That's always
Right.
the
Yeah.
goal. But shit, if it don't work out, it don't work out. I learned something. I was like, man, like compared to like most of these guys that I'm fighting, like the last guy that I fought had 11 pro fights. I don't even know how many amateur fights he had. You know that this guy, it was his debut. I don't know how many amateur fights he had. I was like, yeah, I looked at his Instagram just a little bit, but I was like, I honestly don't know how many boxing fights, quote unquote, he actually had. So I was like, nah, and this is, I know how many boxing fights I've had, two. I know how many kickboxing fights I've had, 10. And I was like, still, like, so from there, I think the confidence is built through the training, through the mental training, through the dieting, through the physical training, and making sure that, you're doing the right things. You're
Yeah.
you're you're doing everything that you can to, leaving no stone unturned. The main thing.
Yeah, man. I'm a big proponent of that, as you know,
Yeah,
leaving no stone unturned and making
yeah,
sure you're doing everything that you could possibly be doing to make sure that you get the best result that you possibly can, you know? So you don't
100%.
look back and be like, I should have done this or I should have done that, or I
Yeah,
could have done that better. You put in all the effort that you possibly could have put in with all the knowledge that you do have, right?
yeah,
Because hindsight is 2020. You're just like, okay, well, oh man, if I would have known that before, well, you had to go through it to learn, right?
yeah, 100%, 100%. Like I had to learn. Excuse me. Uh, in my last fight, I had to learn how to sit down my punches.
Mhm.
So I used to sit down my punches in kickboxing, which is much different from sitting down my punches in boxing.
Okay.
And I was like, in kickboxing, I used to use my boxing. Like I had good hands in kickboxing. I actually had better hands than most kickboxers. That and that I could throw a lot of volume. I could stay in their face. I could pressure. My meat and potatoes. And then when I sat down, but it wasn't like that wasn't the only thing I relied on. I also had my kicks, my knees that I could rely on. And that in boxing, I only have my hands. So it's like the way I'm sitting down my punch, my left and my right hand, when I sit down on them, have to be just as powerful as my left leg and my left knee because now I don't got those two things. It changes. My
Yeah.
footwork has to be on point now where I I know I have fast feet. I know I get in positions really good, even when I screw up. But the way I'm cutting off the ring now, I don't have a big weapon like my leg. I got my arm's length. That's about it. So now I need to learn how to use my arms and my feet and get in better positioning so I could cut off the ring. And
Mm.
do that, little stuff like that. And from there, just build upon that. And so my last camp was just sitting down my punches. And you even said it. You watched the fight, and you're like, man, it's like Mo can knock this dude out, but he's not knocking this dude out.
Yeah, 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 first fight, yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, I know he can knock this guy out. What's going
Although,
on?"
and trust me, I was trying my ass off to do that. But I was like, that was the thing. It was like that was my first fight, me understanding how to sit down on my punches. This fight, I actually had a better understanding of sitting down on my punches, and everything that I was throwing was just straight power shots, which hindsight 2020, I could have better placed those power shots if I did other things correctly as well. But I ended up still knocking the guy out. You know,
Yeah,
it's like I stopped him, and that's what we wanted. We wanted a stoppage because we
yeah,
want to get to a point as a professional fighter that we're finishing fights. Not only does it help out with the fan base, the business side, people want to see you more, but it also shows a high level of expertise at fighting when you can put away an opponent. You know, that compared to not saying I was like I'm a big proponent. I was like, man, like if you could like go out there and like outclass somebody for like however many rounds you're fighting, you know, I was like, and then just make it a clinic. Like that's
yeah,
high level in itself.
for sure.
But it's to like, I was like, you know what? Nah, like at this point, we're gonna be done with this. Like we're gonna stop this today.
Yeah.
We're not gonna like I don't get paid by the hour. Like I'm gonna finish this. It's like so when we do that, like that's a whole different aspect of it, of the
Yeah,
sport, you know. So getting to that point and understanding it. Like I've done it in amateur fighting where I put on clinics where I've went in uh, all my rounds, did that, got the experience, but that I didn't get my first finish until my last fight, and the only reason I did that is because I lost so many close fights outside of Tampa, Florida. Going
mm,
into other people's hometowns, that it got me mad, and I was like, you know what, we're not gonna take it to the judges this time around. We're gonna finish this. So this was the same mindset going in. It's like now it's like I don't want to take it to the judges because now it's gonna impact how much money I'm gonna make. It's gonna impact the how many people want to come and see me,
yeah,
and how many opportunities I get with promotions to fight on their promotions. You know,
yeah, yeah,
so
for sure. That
yeah,
it's a huge part of it, and I mean, you're thinking like not just the fight game, but like also like the brand and everything that goes
yeah,
behind it too.
yeah,
That's huge because it's just like they hear the name and they're just like, "Oh man, like this dude like knocked out his opponent the last time.
yeah.
This would be a fight to watch." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good. Like I told the commentators when when we did media day, I said to I forgot the gentleman's name, but he asked me, I was like, why do people want to come and see you? Why would you say that? And I was like, man, everywhere I go, whenever I fight, people want to come and watch me fight. That's it. I was like, they might not be cheering for me in the beginning of the fight, but after the fight, they're always cheering for me. That happened in New York when I went for Flex Fight Series. They came to Florida. I won the belt. I don't know if they wanted me to win the belt, but I won the belt. I went to New York. They got me somebody who was quote unquote their monster. I fought him, and the first thing that the promoters said to me, I was like, "Man, you are welcome back anytime you want. You put on a hell of a show." I sold 0 tickets, but I put on a hell of a show, and people wanted to see me fight. They asked Vince, and they're like, "Man, hey, when is he free again? When he can do it?" And it was like, "We would like to set up that fight." Now, it ended up not happening, but that same thing when I went to Indiana. I went to Indiana twice. The first time I went, nobody knew me. Nobody would cheer for me. Nobody was cheering for me. Fought my ass off. What you got? Threw the dude out the ring with the knee, and then what you call it? Vince went back with my boy Stevie and Jeremy for the MMA fight in Indiana, and everybody was asking about, "Hey man, when's Mo coming back?" And I was like, I was like, and I promise you, when I went back the second time, people were cheering for me. People were yelling. I was like, "Let's go, Mo!" I was like, "Shit!" So I was like, wherever I go, but yeah, you might not cheer for me, but ended up like fighting, like people want to see me, and like I
Mhm.
think that's a big deal
Yeah,
when you do that because like in the amateur side of things, yeah, sometimes you get paid for ticket sales, right? Sometimes we might not. But in the pro side of things, it's a business.
Yep.
The more people you can put on in seats, the it really does affect your money,
Yeah.
especially in boxing. Especially in boxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, definitely. Relating to that was when I saw your first. I mean, I didn't even get to see you do your kickboxing thing, but I saw your first boxing match, and I was just like, oh, okay. I only see you when you're lifting weights, really.
Yeah.
And I'm
Right.
judging
You
the hell
should.
out of you when I see you lifting your weights, and I'm just like, mu- are you sure you actually fight?
Yeah. Man, you
But
should see. You should see me spar, dude. Some of my sparring sessions, I was like, it's so bad. If I show you a video of me sparring and a video of me fighting, it's like two different things.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
like the
think I've
intensity is
seen a
so.
couple of them. I seen a couple.
Yeah,
You showed me a couple of clips, like how you were moving one time, right? You were showing me like the improvement with your movement.
yeah.
But I seen a couple of those, but I haven't like sat in on a full sparring session with you.
God, dude. I was like, it doesn't give you a great example. Vince will look at me, and then he was like, "Damn, I can't look at this anymore."
That bad.
I was like, "Steph, where you at? Where you at, chat? Stevie."
Wow, man. So you
Oh
just turn
man.
into a whole nother person when you actually have a fight and get into the
Yeah,
ring.
yeah, yeah. Because like, excuse me. I think it's like a big empathy thing for me. I'm an empath. I'm a big empath, so I can feel like when like how other people feel.
Mhm.
And so when I'm sparring, man, like if I hurt somebody, it's like I feel bad. Like I go home, I was like, damn, dude. I was like, I hurt my boy like that. I was like, I shouldn't have done that. That's why I actually like sparring at other gyms because like I don't get to do that. But then I end up making friends with them too. That's feel the same shit.
And then you start feeling the same way.
Same way. Until they do something to me. And then I'm like, no, 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 fuck all that. Like I gotta get my get back. But
So your game plan should be to not make friends, right?
yeah, 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 not make friends. But it's like I can't control that. I think that's a
Right.
gift from God where it's like where people like where I go and like I can make friends with people. I
Mhm.
can network. I can relate to somebody.
Yeah.
But you know, Coach Vince also told me this too. I was like, man, it's like that's such a big superpower because now you can feel when someone is drowning or hurt, and like you could take advantage of that because a lot of people don't know when the other person's hurt. Like for
Mhm.
example, in this fight, I was like, I was hitting the guy in the body, right? I was
Yeah.
like, man, in the first three, four left crosses to the body, I was like, am I hurting this kid? I was like, he's like smiling.
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't. I was like, I don't know what's going on. But then I was like, towards the end of the round, I was like, okay, okay, okay. He slowed down. He slowed down. He's definitely hurt. And then I looked at him in the second round. I was like, oh, he's done. And then we started. Um, should have game planned a little bit better, and should have adjusted a little bit better. Where I attacked the body a lot more. But that actually helped me out where it let me know I was like, man, if I keep on him, he's gonna have to finally break. It's like, yeah, like I'm hitting with these hard shots. I know he can't like his legs are gone. I was just like, I just gotta get that shot. It's gonna end up working. And I ended up getting him the first time I knocked him down. What started that sequence was a right hook and I landed that right hook. He got hurt. He started turning around, and I just was on his ass, and then he went down. Um, he had a lot of heart. He came back up, and then we did it again, and same thing. It was like got him back, then I got him back down, and that's where it's like I felt like I could feel it. I could feel when that person was which call it didn't have that same energy, didn't want to be in the fight as much anymore. That's when, and a lot of people don't get that. Like the higher level guys, like yeah, 100%, but it's like that takes that's a whole different As like a skill, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say, like, in jail, like, they could smell the bitch in you before when you walk in.
we, we just shifted gears quickly here.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, they could smell the fear, they could smell the bitch. So it's like, you could like, but I never understood what they meant by that, but that's, like, empathy. They have this form of empathy where they could feel the other person. They could see, like, it was like, "Oh, man, like, they don't wanna be here," or, "They don't like certain things." So it's like, or they're very uncomfortable. And I
Mhm.
was like, "Do that." Which is really great for my style of fighting because, like, that's how I fight. Because, like, I put a lot of pressure, I make them uncomfortable, make them nervous. Because I'm staying in front of their face, I'm putting something in front of their face, which helps out. I know we're going on so many different directions, but
Oh no, you're good, man. You're
yeah,
good. This is just talking about you and your fight, man. You talk about what you want to talk about.
yeah,
Yeah, because I remember you saying to me, during after the fight, you were just like, "Yeah, once I hit him with one hook and I saw him like go across the ring, I was just like, oh yeah." What was that like? What specifically was going through your head when you hit him with that one, and it was just like, oh, we about to turn it on now.
Oh man, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I got power now, boy. Let's go. I was about to look at stuff. I was like, yo, you ain't the only one who can hit hard, bruh. What's up? No, it was like, you know, because like that was the excuse me. Um, I've been sick for like the last 2 weeks. So I was like, yeah, yeah. No, but I've done it in sparring. The one thing that Vince kept on preaching to me and putting into my head, drilling into my head throughout sparring in this camp was like, you gotta throw your power shots. You just gotta throw your power shots. And the best way to throw your power shots is just throw it. Just let your hands go. Just throw it. Um, so I started doing that, started staying down. And then from there, like, like I started throwing my power shots and we started making adjustments on how I'm throwing my shots, making it a little bit tighter. Um, what's called the way I'm sitting down, the way I'm rotating, all these little things. Then it starts making sense. So to finally actually, I saw it in sparring, like glimpses of it. So I knew like I can do it. Like I knew I can, and like I perfected certain aspects of this sitting down style of punching. Uh, for me to go out and actually do it in the fight now and do it with 8 ounces, it's a whole different feeling
Yeah.
because um, I hit 8 ounces with pads, but it's a
Okay.
pad. I hit 8 ounces on the bag, it's a bag. To do it on a person, it feels like you're hitting paper. That's the best way to explain it.
Like you're
Like,
hitting paper, huh?
yeah, so it's like if you have a piece of paper and you just punch it as hard as you can, your hand
Yeah.
just goes through right through it, right? And
Yeah.
like the paper just like um, what's the word? Like it follows through your punch.
Okay.
It's the same exact way when you hit someone with a good shot.
Okay.
It just follows through. And I was like, and when I hit him, I was like, okay, I'm rotating right, my head's in the right position, everything's
Yeah.
good. And I know I hit his head because I felt the head, but I didn't feel anything afterwards. So I was like, oh, this is good. I'm doing great. And then it's like, man, and in the fight, like I also what I was doing in sparring too is like also trying to hear my shots. So it's like if I was punching, say if I punch the body, if I punch the arm, even punching the head, I hear like a pop, I hear like a snap. And, in the fight, it's hard for me to hear something like that.
Gotcha.
I think like my body and running through the adrenaline, my body like takes away certain sounds, certain smells, certain whatever, and just to focus on what's in front of me, the danger that's in front of me, and do that, focus on that. So actually rewatching the video, I was hearing the sounds. I was like, oh, actually, I was popping. I was like, it was good. It wasn't a bad thing to
Yeah.
do.
Oh, I heard it.
Yeah, I was like, shit.
I heard them shots. I'm over here in the crowd like, "Oh, oh." I was like, "Oh, man, like, how many more of them clean shots is this guy gonna take?"
Bro, it's like the same exact way when Stephanie fought for her debut. I watched her do that to the girl. It's like, how is she still standing? Like, this is like,
Some people.
and you could see her face, like, just
Mhm.
I was like, "Bro," it was like within the first round, 2 minutes, her face didn't even look human
Mm-mm.
afterwards.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like and this girl's still standing for some reason. I was like, "And I don't know how you're doing it." Thank God her corner threw in the towel and the ref stopped the fight. But I was
Mhm.
like, "Dog," I was like, "You lost life in 2 minutes. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah. No, I mean, the way that it was going with your fight, if that guy didn't, take that knee,
Yeah.
go down, I I feel like his corner would have threw in the towel.
Yeah.
Because he was just getting hit with a lot of clean shots up top, man. And I
Yeah.
was just like, Okay, he's going down sometime soon. Sometime
Yeah.
soon he's going down."
Like, it had to happen. I was like, man, he had a lot of heart. Like, he had a lot of heart for him to, like, just, take all that punishment, like, that's respect, and because,
Yeah,
like, man, there's a lot of people who can't take that, you know? There's people who are really great at being the bully, but when you bully them, they don't like it, you know?
right. Yeah,
Uh, there's and then there's certain people who get bullied and, like, could take and can't take a shot either. And like for someone that is like go through that amount of punishment and still like try to figure it out, try to survive, try to do that. That's a whole lot, you know.
yeah,
And that just shows that person has a lot of heart. I was like, yeah, a few adjustments if they make those right adjustments, get those right things down. I think he'll definitely do really well in this next fight. It's
yeah,
just it's just a question of what if he can do that for himself, you know?
right.
And that's it. And I'm not saying that in no disrespect to anybody. I went through it. In my second amateur fight, my wife saw me get my ass kicked 3 rounds.
Mhm.
I went through two 10-8s. Not like that, like it was bad. It was horrible. And I remember after that fight, um, my buddy who was in my corner said it was like, bro, it was like, if you ever want to keep doing this, you got to be willing to fight, and you gotta like, you can't go in there like trying to survive and just take a shot. You gotta survive and do that. And when I made that adjustment of, okay, yes, I know I can take a shot, I just gotta fight back. Shit, my career went off. Like it started, my whole fighting journey changed. The way I sparred changed. The way I trained changed. Everything. So I was like, I get pissed off in sparring when I see like certain of my teammates goofing around and I know they got fights coming up. I'm like, bro, push yourself. Push yourself now so you don't have to figure out if you can get through the adversity later. And like go through the adversity now. If you're sick, I'll say this. I was like, man, like I sparred sick. I sparred injured. I sparred like my left hand was actually hurting in this whole camp. And it was actually from the fight before it. I think I hit his forehead and my knuckle and my front knuckle, no, my left hand was killing me. Like yeah, it was just like every time I punched something, like it was hurting. And that's why I put so many different sponges on my hand. Just so I was like, and then and then bought new gloves that had better padding with the sponge. So I want to say it's I could feel less of it, feel less of that pain, and like, and I still had to still throw power shots because that's what my coach wanted me to do. And I knew if I didn't throw power shots, I can't win the fight. And it's like I can't be as successful in a fight if I don't sit down my punches. So going through that adversity for the whole camp, um, as well as other personal things that I was going through, and then on top of it, it was like certain times throughout that camp, beginning of camp, I actually had a fever,
Mhm.
flu-like symptom. So I was like that basically took me out for like a couple days, but I was still feeling the residual effects afterwards. And then I got sick again towards the end of camp. I was like, it was like,
Couldn't catch a break.
but yeah, so it's like, and it's part of it, and it's all part of the adversity. It's part of that pressure. It's a privilege to go through that. And I was like, I could have been like, man, I could take a day off. I could just chill out at home. I was like, my elbows are killing me, my knuckles killing me. what you call it? I'm feeling sick. I feel run down. I was like, I'm going through depression. And I was like, yeah, I could do all that, but on fight day, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I was like, and I promise you, during fight day, I was still sick.
Mhm.
My hands weren't hurting. I was still sick. I wasn't feeling depressed. I was feeling like I was in a great mood, but I was still sick. And I was like, but I had so many sparring sessions, so many training sessions where I was sick throughout camp. And not only this camp, but camps before that, that I knew what I can do. Yeah, and say that if my hand was still hurting, it had been the same thing. I was like, I know, like I've been through this. I know what to do. I was like, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna deal with the after effect afterwards. Whatever we need to deal with, we'll deal with. And we ended up doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that's big, and that's a lot of things that, people don't really think about, they just see the finished product while you're in there. They don't even know, like, what you're probably going through right then in that moment, what you've been through, like, the whole entire camp or anything like that. So, that's huge that you fought through all those things, and, big ups to you for that. So, I mean, that kinda leads me into this question is, like, what, biggest lesson you're taking away from this performance, basically?
The biggest lesson I learned from this performance is um, the nervousness, the butterflies, isn't that you're scared. It's something that's just new, you know?
Mm,
And I was like, it's just a new thing. That's all it is. That's why you're just nervous. Yeah, you're
Jesus.
not scared. It's just new. I was like, I sparred before. I punched, and I was like, the only difference between sparring and fighting is like smaller gloves and you're fighting more in front of more people. But even then, like I don't even think about that because like if you go to a gym, you're never ever sparring by yourself. I was like, at least at this level that I'm at, I'm not ever sparring by myself. Like there's always people. You know, like if I'm at the boxing gym, good high level prospects. Yeah, their coach is there. Nah, I'm there. But there's like people stop sparring and start watching the ring. You know,
Yeah,
so I was like, that doesn't change. The only thing that did just change is like this is gonna be smaller gloves and it's gonna be the in front of more people. That's it. And like the person's different. The person's you never fought before, which isn't actually a big um, advantage. And I was talking to one of my buddies about it in the fight because like I was like I went to Ali Tara's gym, FFC, Five Fitness Center, towards the end of my camp, like the last week and a half. So I was
okay,
sparring with God Boxing Academy guys and then some of the signature punch guys at the gym, at their gym. Um, sparred them so much they kind of actually finally understood. I was like, oh man, this I already know what this guy's gonna do. So I was like,
okay.
you know, like it starts messing with you a little bit. I was like, man, am I doing everything right? Am I doing this right? Am I throwing? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or they're just catching on to what I'm doing? You know. So when I went to Ollie's gym and I sparred, I was like, never mind. I'm doing the right things because I'm competing with people that which I haven't competed in about 2 months around that at that point. So I was like, this is good. This is good. This is where I need to be. I'm great. Then going into the fight, I was like, that's the thing. I was like, the homie doesn't. I don't know what the homie's gonna do, and the homie sure as hell doesn't know what I'm gonna do because I don't post any of my sparring. So like we're good. I was like, there's no tape on me unless like you want to watch my fights. And then if you watch my fights, it's two different fights. Like thus far, right now, it's been two different fights. And
Mhm.
so like you're really not gonna get much out of anything. The only
Yeah.
thing you can get is like, oh, he's southpaw, and the only other difference you'll see from both fights is like, oh, he can punch now a lot better. That's about it. I was like, it's like, but shit, if I want to, like, I could go volume and punch hard now, or I could just punch hard. I was like, yeah, that's about it. So that's been like the biggest thing is like where that nervousness, if you can change that aspect of from fear to it's just something new. You're just doing something new. That's about it. And that's why you're nervous.
Yeah,
And once you start it, you forget about it even being new at that point.
gotcha. So Mo, what's next for you?
What's next for me is great question. Hopefully, like I fight more this year.
Okay.
The goal is to be more active than I was in my amateur career. So my amateur career, I used to take like I'll say around like 3 to 4 months off, and it wasn't because I wanted to take 4 months off or 5 months off. It was more so at the fact just getting a fight
Mm.
was just that hard. Um, As a pro now, I could and to be in boxing, there's boxing fights in Florida every weekend.
Oh,
So yeah, but it's just making the right decision. So like I said, like I'm a pro, even though I'm fighting, uh, and I'm trying to build a brand. It's also a business, so I got to
mhm.
make the right business decisions. Uh, uh, Develop the right way as well. So I need to do those two things perfectly, which will help me out after this first year going on. So hopefully I could get on Starfry Productions again. It's perfect. It's right here in Tampa. I could build more of a fan base slowly. I think this last fight, I sold a little bit more tickets, so it's the same exact thing. The next fight, whatnot. I think there might be one in July, and then I know there's two in the fall.
Okay.
So we're good. So there's three more fights. Hopefully, I could do that. But whatever God wants at the end of the day, my job is just to do what I'm supposed to do, and He will take care of the rest. And then yeah, just also like start looking at sponsorships. Start getting more people on my team, helping out with that. Um, Start building up my content on my Instagram. Uh, Start letting people know who I am, basically.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
And I'm working on something for that. So we'll
Awesome.
talk after the
Yeah.
podcast for
Yeah.
that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, so yeah, man, we're just gonna transition here to a little quick lightning round of some questions, just some rapid fire. So it'll be about 5 questions. You
Awesome.
ready?
Awesome. Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. So your favorite part of camp or prep this time? What was it?
The weight cut.
The weight cut? That was your favorite part?
Yeah.
What?
It took me an hour to cut all that weight off. It only takes me four.
Okay. All right. The weight cut.
The
Okay.
weight cut.
All right. So the second one, hardest moment you had to push through.
Hardest moment I had to push through was sparring Frankie Rodriguez.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually fought on the card. He fought before me. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so he was a Mexican kid who won.
Okay. He was the one that had the whole get up on, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw
yeah,
his fight. Yeah, that was
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
He was that was a fight he was putting on a clinic.
yeah, yeah, bro, that.
Yeah.
Hey, he actually hurt his right hand.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that was like he was in the back. And so hopefully he's a good. I haven't hit him up, but
Yeah.
when he was in the back, he hurt his right hand because he was holding it, and they were trying to doctor get the doctors to look at it. But yeah,
Mm,
dude, it was what's it called? When it when I sparred him beginning of this year,
mhm.
and he was just trying to get back, like he was getting back into shape because I think it was after a little layoff.
Okay.
This time he was in camp. Homie's a different motherfucker. I was like, dude, yeah,
Gotcha. All right. So one word to describe how you felt after the win.
hungry,
Hungry. Like it.
hungry. Oh man, yeah, hungry.
Okay. So number four, who's someone that deserves a shout out for this win?
I will have to say my wife. My wife is it was like like I always give a shout out to a lot of people. Like
Yeah,
Coach
no, no,
Vince
no.
is up
I heard
there.
you. It was like,
Yeah,
oh, what?
yeah, yeah. I was like Coach Vince is up there. My teammates are up there. And, what's it called, all my the people, like you, all my sponsors are up there. But I will have to say my wife. Uh, this is her first time, as well as my first time. Like I said, this is the most active I've ever been. It was like uh, around, I want to say 2 months. Yeah, it was around 2 months before my last fight. So she's been taking care of a lot of things. We just moved. We just did a lot of things. She had to be the wife and the husband for the past 2 months. Well, I want to say past four. And then she was also acting as my manager. So she was taking care of the ticket sales, making sure how and all the tables, all the people were showing up, trying to get that stuff out the way, uh, getting my shorts made, and then to do all that. Uh, to making sure my food's cooked, the house is clean, people are taken care of, all that. Like she takes care of a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Salute to your
Yeah,
wife, man.
yeah,
We throwing up a
salute,
salute.
salute. So I was
Mm.
like, shit, yeah. I was like, so right now she's feeling just as tired as I am
Yeah.
afterwards. So I was like, uh, yeah, I'm gonna take her out. So
Okay. I
yeah,
was about to
so
say,
yeah,
what you doing
yeah,
special for her now?
yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely.
All right. So last question. So one piece of advice you'd give to young fighters coming up.
One piece of advice will be stop fighting your coach. Stop fighting your coach. If you have to fight your coach, get a new coach. Stop fighting your coach. If you fighting your coach or getting mad at your coach or blaming your coach means two things. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in the person that you're with, that you're teamed up with. That's it. So the first thing, believe in yourself. And then second thing is believe in the person that will help you get to where you need to get to. Because a coach's job is to teach you and help you and put you in the right spot or right positions so you can take the opportunity. All right. So don't have if you don't have a great coach, um, and like that, and like a great coach is all subjective. I was like, what a great coach for me doesn't mean they could be a great coach for another person,
Hmm.
you know? So I was like, I think the coach that I have, Coach Vince McGinnis, he's a great coach. And I think that because of his mentality, the way he approaches the fight game, it's the same exact way I've always approached the fight game. I've always thought about the fight game just that same exact way. Uh, when I was a kid, I wanted to fight. I was like, this is the type of coach I want. This is the type of environment I want. This is what I want to do. Blah 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 blah. I was with a coach before that. I didn't feel like we were on the same page. Um, Found a coach that we're on the same page now. Uh, and the best part about it is it's not him holding pads. It's not him uh, being in my corner. It's him having the same mindset that I have when it comes to the approach of fighting. It's not a game. I don't think you should be fighting and doing this as a hobby. If you're
Yeah.
doing this as a hobby, get a new hobby. Because this is not a game. It's called winning and losing. Is it what's it called? Man, damn, I missed the basket. No, winning and losing is I still broke my hand or I still have a concussion or God forbid I die. You know, and so that's a whole thing. So I think you should don't fight your coach. All the new fighters, and I don't mean like fighting like in a sense of like going out there and yelling at him or her and like having these verbal arguments or physical arguments, all altercations. I'm not talking about that. If you're doing that, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But like fighting in a sense of like if they're asking you like, hey man, I need these are the sessions that we're gonna have. I need you to be here every session. Like they've already laid out the session for you, right? And you say, no, man, I'm not gonna just show up, or I'm not gonna communicate. That's fighting your coach. You know, you're not making weight when he's asking you or she's asking you to make weight, and you're not making that weight. You're not doing your diet right. You're fighting your coach. You know what I'm saying? If you can't communicate with them, you can't let them know, hey man, this is what I'm going through, like injuries. How can we go about to make sure that I can still do this plan that no we both set up? And it's like it's a we thing. It's not them thing. Like they set it up. It's a we thing because you got to do it too. So stop fighting the coach. That's the best thing.
I like it. I like it. Well, Mo, man, I appreciate you showing up and being here. And again, congrats on your win. And the
Thank you,
best is
sir.
still ahead, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. Not only this camp, but so many other camps. I think we started during my fifth amateur fight, fifth or sixth amateur fight. Yeah. So I was like,
Mm.
this is my second pro fight. So you're still here.
Yeah,
We're
I
out
was
here.
good. I
So
was
I was
still around.
like, we're
We
doing something
rocking out,
right.
man. We rocking out.
Hey, this is a great example of not fighting your coach.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Exactly.
but yeah, it's like that. So it's been good. So I appreciate you for helping me out. Definitely have built a lot of athleticism over these past few fights, especially this past fight. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. My pleasure.